5.7-inch phablet of a phone is the largest in the A series, and it features a similarly slim and stylish visual style with a metal frame and a very lightweight overall, very compact for its size dimensions. How does it perform? Does it have a good camera? What's the battery life? Those are the questions that you probably want answered. Let's get right to it. And first, let's start with the design of the Galaxy A8. This is one impressively slim device. You can just check out how thin it is, 5.9 millimeters, and that's an aluminum frame, sturdy aluminum frame with chamfered edges, a stylish design. On the back, you have what seems like a plastic back cover. See the dual sign here. It's a dual SIM phone. You can use it either as a dual SIM phone, or you can use the second SIM card slot as a micro SD card. In this case, you can use it as a single SIM with micro SD card slot, or as a dual SIM device with no micro SD. So what about the actual design? Now up front, you have a very thin side bezel. So this is a 5.7-inch device, but the slim side bezels that are just 1.2 millimeters make it fit in a form factor that's more akin to that of a 5.5-inch device. It's a bit taller though, so it definitely sticks out of pockets, and it can easily fall out of your pocket, especially when you're sitting in a car, for instance. It's happened to us on a couple of occasions. And have the large physical key here that also acts as a fingerprint scanner. Now we don't have it registered, but when we try to use it as a fingerprint scanner, you should register it a couple different angles, because if you register it at just one, it won't register those other angles that you typically unlock your phone at. The physical keys, you have the lock key on the right, and it's a metal key that is clicky and has a very nice feel to it, and the same can be said about the volume keys right here. On the bottom you have a micro USB charging port, 3.5mm headset jack, and on top you have the microphone. Speaking of the display, you have a 5.7-inch Super AMOLED screen with a resolution of 1080 by 1920 pixels. That's a full HD resolution on the screen, and it looks great. The best thing about it is not just the sharpness. The sharpness is okay. Keep in mind that's a diamond pixel arrangement, so you can notice some jagged edges and some pixelization when you stare at it up close. But when you speak about colors, which is the most important topic these days, since, let's be honest, sharpness is pretty much a set question at this day and age. Now, when you speak about colors, this is one of the best calibrated displays we've ever tested. Now, colors adhere strictly to the sRGB color standard, and that's the color standard that all content for Android and on the web, all the images, all the videos are optimized for this color standard. So that's why we're happy that Samsung is not adhering to some weird standards, has the sRGB standard with a very, very nice colors that fit perfectly in that range. As you can see, everything looks very pleasing. Brightness is around 330 nits. Keep in mind this is an AMOLED display, so it adjusts with the change of colors. We found it to be pretty easy to use outdoors, maybe not on the level of top tier devices, but still plenty usable outdoors. Of course, blacks are pitch black. You can see that they're very deep, and viewing angles are also excellent. The Samsung Galaxy A8 ships with Samsung's TouchWiz and Android 5.1, and TouchWiz is both a blessing and a bit of a damnation, and we will show you right away what we're talking about. You probably know this interface, and we've enabled GPA tracing here, so we can quickly show you. When we're speaking about lag, this is one of the most stuttery phones we've encountered in a long while, and you can see that this line here represents everything below it are smoothly perceived frame rates, and whenever you have a line as tall as this, it means that the interface has dropped a frame when performing, and that's basically stutter, that's lag. And this is especially noticeable here in the Flipboard magazine that ships enabled by default. You can see the huge lag that is ever present here. It's present in all sorts of various applications, even in the multitasking menu, even when you try to open the dialer sometimes. It's really frustrating to see so much stutter and lag on a device that costs $500, but that's the case. That's what you have with the Samsung Galaxy A8. Now, we don't know what's the particular reason for this. Is it TouchWiz itself? That's our guess. Or is it the chip that's powering it? Now, this ships in two versions. There is one version powered by the Snapdragon 615 system chip, which is an octa-core chip running on 8 Cortex A53 cores. And then you have the Exynos 5 Octa chip that we have right here up for review. Maybe that's the culprit. It's a 20 nanometer chip that should be plenty powerful, and we tested it with some games, so you can take a look at how well it performs in just a second. And so even though this is not the most demanding game, you can still see that the phone performs fairly well, and just push the throttle, you can